Take a look around. Poverty isn't just a number. By Turner Bobbitt and Tati Monteleone.
What is poverty? Poverty is not just a severe lack of income, but more specifically, when a person lacks the essential capabilities that results in negative outcomes, including social exclusion, and are considered inferior to those around them.
There are two different measurements of poverty: absolute and relative. Absolute measurements of poverty are a measurement that is not sensitive to what others have. It is not a comparative measurement, as it states that other people's wealth is irrelevant to the calculation. Whether or not someone is poor doesn't affect the resources available to those around them. The OPM is an absolute measurement. Relative measurements is a measurement of poverty that determines whether someone is poor by looking at how much they have compared to other people around them. The SPM is a quasi-relative measurement.
Following these characteristics, our description of poverty is a relative definition because it not only singles in on the issue of income, but compares a person's status to those around them. Important terms in understanding poverty are functionings and capabilities. Functionings are beings and doings that are actually realized. Capabilities are beings and doings that someone has gone out and done. An example of the difference between functionings and capabilities would be someone that's fasting versus someone that's starving. The person that is fasting has the capability to eat, yet they are choosing not to. The person that is starving doesn't have the capability to eat, so it is against their will.
How should we define poverty in the U.S. today? Using the capabilities approach. The capabilities approach starts with what it means to live a decent and dignified human life, asking many fundamental philosophical questions. A dignified human life is a life worthy of the dignity of a human being. Since it is a liberal approach, it encompasses both far left and far right views. It is an explanation of the ways the government ought to be that is not predicted by a specific religion or perceptions of the good, but is consistent with many religions. According to the capabilities approach, poverty is about freedom for beings and doings. What is freedom?
Freedom means people aren't trying to stop you from what you're doing. There are two specific types of freedom: negative freedom and positive freedom. Negative freedom means you're free only if people aren't messing with you or trying to stop you. Positive freedom means the capacity to choose or do different things, whether or not people are messing with you, is completely in your hands. The capabilities approach revolves around what is believed to be the 10 essential capabilities, as defined by Martha C. Nussbaum in Creating Capabilities, the Human Development Approach. These are the 10 things you have to lead a healthy and dignified human life. The first one is life, bodily health, bodily integrity, senses, imagination, and thought, emotions, practical reason, affiliation, other species, play, and control over one's environment.
To find an example of the importance and relevance of capabilities, we looked at Charlotte, North Carolina on the Opportunity Atlas. There is a road connecting two neighborhoods. The one on the left is the one of the highest earning neighborhoods in terms of income, and on the other side of the road is one of the neighborhoods with the lowest earnings. Charlotte is known for having an abundance of opportunities available, yet these capabilities are inaccessible for people living in low-income neighborhoods like the one on the right.
Explaining the OPM. The OPM stands for the Official Poverty Measure. This was one of the first ways of measuring poverty in the United States. It measures poverty through the income that you receive. Things that are counted as income by the OPM standards are income that you are receiving in cash, income in investments, including cash dividends and assets, Social Security checks, and if you qualify and receive TANF. TANF is Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. The OPM determines the poverty threshold to be the Economy Food Plan multiplied by 3. The Economy Food Plan is decided by a government agency, and this means that it is the cheapest food plan while still providing adequate nutritional value.
The OPM doesn't take into consideration the expenses you have that aren't up to you if you want to keep your job. These include taxes, childcare costs, transportation costs, MOOP or medical out of pocket expenses. The OPM is measured through family units, which only includes blood relatives or married members living in the household, meaning you can't separate members. The OPM also does not take into account the differences in cost of living based on geography.
How should we measure poverty in the U.S.? The Supplemental Poverty Measure, or the SPM. How does the SPM determine the threshold of who is and isn't poor? The threshold is set at the 33rd percentile of the median expenditure on FCSU plus a nominal amount for additional expenditures, not including medical bills, which is 0.2% of FCSU. FCSU stands for Food, Clothing, Shelter, and Utilities. The government produces a survey to figure out how much each family unit spends on FCSU, and they collect data to find the median and divide this value by 3, and they add any additional amounts to this value. Nominal amounts include things that you can't wear or eat, like dish soap or mops. It also includes non-work transportation. The SPM is adjusted by geographical location.
Further explaining the SPM. The SPM includes the following as income: cash income, like the OPM, things that aren't cash but can be used to meet or provide for a person's FCSU, in-kind benefits, which include food stamps, which can also be referred to as SNAP, housing vouchers, and government-provided childcare. These are all things that help people make ends meet. Non-discretionary expenses are also included as income. These are things that you don't have a legal choice to pay, like taxes. This also includes things that you need to pay to stay healthy, like medical out of pocket, or for your job, like transportation to go to work. It also includes expenses taken out of income.
Some people think that the OPM is a more superior measurement for poverty, yet these are the reasons why we think that the SPM is a better measurement. Some believe that the OPM is better suited for a measurement of poverty because it's simpler, more cost efficient, and more past data is available. It's simpler because it only takes into account levels of income, making calculations extremely quick and easy. It's more cost efficient because it's only evaluating one capability versus multiple. And there's more past data available because it's one of the oldest measurements, so there's more past data accessible to analyze for trends. We argue that the SPM is a better measurement because it includes more than just the income threshold, it's adjusted by geographic location, and it's more aligned with the capabilities approach.